Hey guys, I'm making an appearance in this video because I wanted to warn everybody that there are quite a few errors in this video, and they're solved for the most part. But except there's this one where we're actually find out we're actually using a shared runner. I do solve that. It's another video, but the rest are part of this. The errors and everything are part of this video. Uh, so you should be fine as long as you keep running. So if you run into an error, just keep and you pause the video, just keep rolling with the video because I will solve all the errors that come about from what I've done. All right, so thanks for watching and happy coding. Hey guys, it's Ben and we're back. I'm gonna clear some stuff because I've been trying to remake. I've been remaking this video for a minute because I keep running into some random errors. Anyway, I'm back. Let's go over why we want to use continuous integration again. Like, what's the real purpose? So, I've already gone over, that I'm using Docker, that I'm installing all the stuff onto this Docker image. Not that one. This Docker image. Oh, no, my bad. Sorry. This Docker image, and I'm installing all this stuff. Or I'm doing all this stuff on it, and then I'm building it. So, but that doesn't do anything. Why are we doing this continuous integration? Why are we making these Dockers and stuff? Well, these Docker containers. The reason for that is that we want other developers to be able to pick up our application and just begin coding really quickly, and to maintain that, or actually to do that and maintain those applications, we need to write some tests, and also maintain a specific style guide, right? So I like NumPy, but I'm not going to get in that right now. I will get that probably about 5 minutes in. So first things first, we need to start working with virtual environments. Now, what a virtual environment does is it maintains your packages and libraries all in one thing. You really want that. The reason being, I'm going to just show you. Oh, what's going on here? I'm going to clear because that's acting up. Pip freeze. You see this Py installer, Py, Selenium. You probably don't need all that in a normal Django app, which is what I'm developing. You could be developing anything else. You don't have to use Django. You could just write all this stuff in your normal, whatever you want to do. I'm going to be making a Django app. So what we want to do is we want to install this virtual env. I already have it installed in my system packages. We don't want all those packages to go into our Docker container. So let's make that. Let's just show you the command on how to install that. So it's pip install virtual env, and then how you use it is you just run this command virtual env and then the name of your environment. Cool, you could do that. Here's a little quick side note. I'm wanting to use Python 3.7, so check the version. I'm already using Python 3.7, so that command that I showed you previously with just creating a virtual environment, it's going to load Python 3.7. Now, let's say you wanted something else, some environment. It would be this, I think, and then path to other Python. Pretty sure that's it. But don't, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's something similar. So I know I got in the ballpark. Now, I like to keep all my virtual environments in a directory, so I'm going to just make that directory. And I have a bad habit of putting everything on my desktop, so I'm going to just continue with that bad habit because nobody's corrected me on it yet. Nobody showed me a better way. Alright, so here's virtual env. This is my folder. And now I'm going to just say virtual env, and I know that it's right here on my desktop, so it's squiggly line, drive, desktop, / virtual, and then I want to name this RV Market. The reason I wanted to name it that is because that's the project I'm working on, and since this virtual environment is separated, I can use a whole bunch of other tools to help me maintain my application. So you can see it's taking from Python 3.7. I guess this is where the executable lives. and then it's creating a Python, or it's copying that one. Okay, cool. So we're done here. Now let's go to the virtual environment and I'll show you what's inside of it. So this is the virtual environment. Like, this is all that makes it up. It's going to be different if you're on Linux. On Windows, it's scripts, and then you'll have this activate, which is what you want. And you see pip is installed, easy install, Python 3.7, dynamically linked libraries, the wheel, and then I think there's libraries right here. You'll see side packages. We don't really have any side packages installed. That's the same thing as saying this, right? You'll see that we don't have any. Oops, I haven't activated it. Let me activate. So the virtual environment. I just did all that. So let's say source. Since I'm using the Ming 64 Mingui. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it comes with Git for Windows. So I'm going to say source. I'm going to go to that virtual environment, and I'm going to say virtual environments. Okay, so now I'm at my virtual environment. Now what do I need to do? You go to scripts, and I need to activate it. Now source is how you do that. Now if I do pip freeze, there's nothing, right? Like I said, the site packages are being looked at with pip freeze, and there's nothing installed. But there is some base packages that need to be installed, base tools for Python, which these are that. They're not dependencies though. So pip freeze only wants to list dependencies. All right, cool. So that sets up everything that we need. You know what? 1 second. I need to double check something. Yes, this is running. So now we need to actually look at what we want to do. We know that we are in this virtual environment. We know there's no site packages. So now if we want to tell anybody to use our application that they need these packages that we install. Well, I'm going to start off with Flake 8 because I want to make sure that my coding conventions are up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say pip install Flake 8. So Flake 8 is, you can see, installing collected packages, pydocstyle, Flake 8, pyflakes. Flake 8 is technically a wrapper around a few other packages. I'm using it straight up just as to check my coding. Right. We're not going to write any tests in this video, but we will write just some test code, like some play around code to show you what Flake 8 can do and how to start setting it up and why we want that. Okay, so I'm going to start saying test.py, which is not really a test. You know what? I'm going to say playground. All right, now import OS. Okay, need that thing to stop helping me for a little bit. So another thing to help with this style guide stuff is you want to be able to have a ruler, right? So certain style guides say they only want a maximum length of of something. So I'm going to pull this over here. The PEP 8 style guide for Python. Well, let me just show you. The PEP 8 style guide for Python. This is basically the norm. Like, people use this generally. Like, this is ubiquitous throughout Python programming. But there's also other style guides like NumPy and Django has their own. And let's look at the maximum line length. This is what I was just talking about. Limit all lines to a maximum of 79 characters. Okay, cool. So a cool little helping function of VS Code is this ruler thing. I'll show you how to set that up right now. Sorry, but this is the only way I know how to get to this settings.json. I just type in terminal and look for whatever says edit in settings, and then it pulls me up to my my settings.json. If there's a better way, which I know there is, I just haven't found it, let me know. Now I'm going to change this line. Now let's say I want this editor.rulers, and I'm giving it a list, and I'm saying, oh, in this I want one ruler to be at 11. That doesn't make, it's not very good, right? Now let's say 79. Oops. Cool. That's the one I wanted. Now there's also some other things about docstring limitations, which I think 75 or maybe 72, doesn't matter. But a second ruler can also be added. I don't recommend doing that. Just ignore that. I mean, just the 79 is fine. Now here's some other stuff. I'm gonna keep this open because I'm gonna go into this a little bit more and show you how to set up an environment that's pretty useful later, so you don't have to continually run Flake 8 all the time. You want Flake 8 to run on your runner in the CI. So that's why we're installing it. That's why we're doing everything. Now, so pip install Flake 8 has already been done. Just want to show you real fast that I already have all the stuff that's required for Flake 8 right here. So it's all that. This is not the big list that we saw before. This is only in the virtual environment. Okay, done there. Okay, so now we're here. Now I'm going to show you some weird stuff. Let's see if something catches and tells me that I'm past this line limit. Like I'm using a little bit of the I just wanted to go past the 79 character limit and then see if it'll mess up. So some really long variable name that has no business being this long equals some list comprehension I for I in range 10 if I is greater than 5. So that is nuts. But look, no errors thrown. Okay. What happens if I say Flake 8? Alright, so it's actually saying, okay, this import OS is never used, and there's no new line at the end of file. Well, that's also not telling me about this, which is honestly surprising. But we can also add more stuff to this. Let's say .flake 8. So this is a configuration file that this thing is that when you run Flake 8, it's gonna look for. Don't have anything I want to run right now, but shouldn't change anything. Cool. So I'm gonna go back here, and I'm going to actually mess with this. Python.linting.flake8 enabled. So in VS Code, you can actually tell it to start using Flake 8 automatically. So we just did the Python, the linting, and said, hey, enable Flake 8 to start saying, hey, where we went wrong in our code, so we don't have to continually, run this Flake 8 inside of here. There we go. Thank you. And now it's screaming, saying the line is too long. That was so weird. It wasn't doing that before. I think it's because there wasn't a space. Let me see. Yeah, it's not there. It's not because there was no space. Now there's some spacing. It says, hey, don't leave this blank line. Also, that this line is too long. You can see that it's saying Flake 8 is telling it's an error 501, and then this one's like unused import. So we get all these errors built right into the VS Code. Okay, cool. Now this is good, and it tells us how to use things. Well, it tells us where our code is wrong. Now, what about documentation? Like that's a big part. Documentation is a big deal. So let's say def some func. This is totally wrong already. And then this is also wrong, using single quotes instead of double. I feel like that was over too much. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's good. Okay. This is a one-liner with no period. Alright. Now, let's say I run Flake 8 again. So Flake 8's just saying no new line. This is actually a coding convention style guide. And this isn't docstring style guide that it's screaming out. It's saying that there's no blank line, which now it's saying there's a blank line that contains white space. Wow. That whatever. We don't care about that right now. We care about these docstrings. Okay, so let's say if I run Flake 8 again, will it pick up on this bad docstring? No, it doesn't. So what do we need? We need pydocstyle. or pydocstyle, pydocstyle, right? Now look at this one. This one is saying, okay, missing docstring in public module in public function. One line docstring should fit on one line with quotes. Okay, well, let's do something better than having to read this right now. Let's also enable this inside the VS Code. Python.linting. There we go. Pydocstyle is screaming a whole bunch of errors at me and saying D200, D300, D400, okay. And these are actually errors that are with docstyle string. It's with the docstring. Okay. Well, how does it know the documentation that I really like to use? Well, it doesn't. There you go. It's automatically defaulting to PEP 257. So let me type this up. Pydocstyle default. So error check options. So pydocstyle, the way we're using it is we are personally using it as the executable version right now, instead of inside of VS Code. We are also using a VS Code, but it's their equivalent. So you see this, it's using the convention PEP 257. Well, I know for a fact that there's also a convention called NumPy, and I like NumPy, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to say, I'm going to set this up in my VS Code, python.linting. I think I already my one went blank. Okay, the args, and then I need to say -- convention equals NumPy. Right, and we saw a whole bunch of other errors before. Now we get 403. Now what happens if I say this PEP 257? PEP 257. You see, okay, there actually is a 403 error. I didn't think that was in this one. 400, 401, 403. NumPy. .404. Okay, so error 404. Let's say if that is actually showing up. Ooh, what is going on? Delete. Oh, and I messed that up. Okay, so 404 doesn't show up in the PEP 8 or PEP 257, but I will be using NumPy, which it does show up. Okay, so error this pydocstyle 404. So it's sensing enough. It's not going to be perfect. Like, watch this. Params, all lowercase. Then I use some RST, and then I say ret instead of return, and I say just return some int. There's no int. Let's see how much it screams at me. Doesn't scream at me about any of that, and that's because there's a limitation on what this can do. It just gets you in the ballpark. But here's one thing. So we see that it says use triple double quotes instead of triple single quotes. So we can do that. And then we'll see. Oh, it's gone. Okay, cool. So that's not what I'm not gonna go heavy into this anymore. Like that was just showing what we're trying to do here. Okay, well, I'm going to put a file in here, and it's going to be called .pydocstyle. Right now, if I run pydocstyle right now, what am I paying? I always say pydocstyle. I mean pydocstyle. Doc style. Forgive me, guys. Pydocstyle. Okay, we see that the 404 error is still on here, so it's not using the NumPy convention that I wanted. So here in this thing, I'm going to say doc style. I'm going to say convention equals NumPy. Now let's do this again. You see that 404 error is showing up just like it was before. in this file. Now that means that this is being read by the pydocstyle executable, and then also if I say flake 8, this is also being read. So this .flake8 and this pydocstyle are both being read, and that's great. And that's because now we can send this off to our continuous integration, and it can start telling us everything that's wrong. Now, there are a few other errors I actually had in. There's actually an error that I had in the last tutorial where I set up Gitlab runner and show a whole bunch of stuff. It's this. This Alpine 3.7 is not the correct image. I needed the Python and then say Alpine-3.7. I'll show you just to continue. But now, in this testing thing, what do we want to test? Well, I'm going to keep this because eventually I want that. But I need to make sure that we can run these tests. So what do we need installed? Well, we can see pip freeze. Oh, I am ridiculous right now. I need to activate this. Source, OneDrive, desktop, virtual, yeah. RV market, scripts, activate, pip freeze now. Pydocstyle, all this. So this is all I have right now. And how do I transfer? Do I really want to type all this out? No. But you can see pip freeze makes this go to the std out, which the std out standard out, and that standard out is caught by this terminal. Well, let's redirect. So if I say pip freeze and I redirect it to that output to go to requirements.txt, what happens? Well, it fills this up. And this can actually be ran by saying pip install -r requirements.txt. And this will start installing everything line by line. So it starts with entry points. Okay, flake 8. You may already know all this, may not. I don't know, but I'm treating it like everybody's a beginner at this. So, sorry. Now, in the testing thing, what do I want to test? Well, I want to test. I'm gonna. This is gonna have an error, just letting you know. And I want to say Docker compose run app. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm gonna say flake 8, and I want pydocstyle to be ran. So if you get an error on flake 8 or pydocstyle, your test will fail. I mean, your job will fail. This job will fail, and that's a good thing because that means you know that one of your developers is not following the conventions that you've set in place, and you can revisit why. So what this is saying is Docker compose has already built an image. Now you want to run that image. You have to specify it. What is it? It's going to be called app. That is what's built. And inside of that, you're going to say, okay, run the shell and the command Python flake 8, and then I don't even need to say Python actually. That was dumb. Python, just run flake 8 and pydocstyle. Right? And those are going to look right here for this flake 8 file, this pydocstyle file. Okay, this is going to fail. It's totally going to fail, guys. So git add a git commit sending off a failing build. The reason why it's going to fail is because I didn't specify what this Docker file should be doing. Okay, so I'm here in my RV market. Oh, I actually pressed the wrong thing. I want to go to my jobs. $17 ago. Why is this? I'm dumb. Git push origin develop. Now it's going to be sent off and picked up. Let's just refresh this. Okay, so this one test is now pending, but it's build is pending, tested. You can see that this is my Docker file that's being ran, and it's pulling this Alpine 3.7, and now it didn't do anything else because literally in this Docker file all we said is from Alpine 3.7. Okay, that's wrong because we need to actually do something with this. So let's edit it. Right. Well, we have this requirements.txt and we need to put it in the image. So let's start off by saying run. Run actually is a command that will be ran inside the Docker container. So you can use, since I'm using Alpine, it's actually basically any Linux command. Make dir, and I'm going to say in the root, I want to make the app, and then I'm going to say copy from wherever this file lives into the image, which it lives in this project directory. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put app, and then I'm going to say I want to have the name requirements.txt. Now after that I'm going to say run pip install -r requirements.txt. And the reason for that is because like that's the exact same command right here, and that should install everything, right? Cool. So this is still gonna fail, and I'm gonna show y'all why. Okay, so let's git add -a. I'm just gonna go straight to the job right after I push. So, and to the end of the job, so you can see what's going on. Git commit pushing another failing build. Git push origin develop. So we're back. I'm back now at this failing portion, which I said would fail, and this is my error from the previous video. I was pulling from the Alpine 3.7 image. This is incorrect. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't even have Python installed. I knew something was off, and I still went with it. So that was my fault. You can blame me. Well, I mean, you literally have to blame me because I'm the only one that's making the video. So Python, Alpine, Docker, I guess. Yeah, you can see this guy's already saying, oh, this is how it's supposed to be written. So I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to do this. And all right, now I'm going to just push again and show you that new thing. Oops. So we're at this right now, and I made another error. I said pip install requirements.txt when I actually need to say /app /requirement.txt. Okay, I'm gonna redo that, change that up, because that was again my fault. I actually noticed a couple other errors. I'm learning all this at the same time, so okay. I will fast forward this. Okay, guys, so it finished. It was taking a long time. There's a reason. Because it was saying there's so many things wrong with all this stuff. Like, look, it's looking in the Python 3.7, site packages, pip, vendor, requests, all this stuff, and it's saying it didn't conform to the style because not every library does conform to that style. Now, the reason for this is definitely because we're in the root of our image because of our Docker file. So we have this from Python 3.7, then we made this app, then we copied that in there, then we said run this and install right here, well, I mean, install this into our image, right? And then in this Docker compose, not Docker compose, what am I saying? In our GitLab CI file, we just said Docker compose run app, and we didn't specify where to run Flake 8 and pydocstyle. So they actually are inside the image right now, and I'll actually show you this right now because this is my image, and I just wanted to I made this image. I'm inside of a Docker container right now. You know, because there's a lot of distractions in the back. Okay, so the image that was being ran, you see sh command flake8 and then whatever. Now we're saying, okay, this is the container. It does not have bash, but it does have shell. I want to run shell in this running container, and now I'm inside this thing. I'm inside the container, right? And we'll see. Oh, now we see this is the app that I created. I'm gonna go cd/app, right? Now, if I'd said flake8 here, which it shouldn't say anything, because you look inside here, it's pip install - requirements.txt, and then I can say flake8. Now, what happens if I install everything, right? It's already satisfied, everything's good. But what if it happens if I run this outside of it? See, it's taking a minute. That's because it's looking through all this and scanning through all of that. That's going to take forever. So what I should actually do is get out of there. I'm done with that now. Is I should set the working directory, right? So now I'm going to say work dir. I'm going to say /app. Cool. Now this will build the image. This will specify build that image. And the reason why I'm using Docker Compose is because I'm going to have a ton of other apps, a ton of other Docker containers with this, if you didn't know. And then this is saying to run this in the working directory. So let's recap. So Docker file, get this image, has Python, make a directory, copy the requirements.txt, install the dependencies, change our working directory and to be the app, then have Docker Compose build it, then have Docker Compose, well, this GitLab CI, use the Docker Compose and run the app with the shell and the command, and then the command flake8 and pydocstyle in the working directory. Well, the working directory is now /app. So we shouldn't have this problem. Okay, I'm going to push this and let's see what happens. Okay, so this just got done running. And it looks like pydocstyle was not found. And the only way this can happen is I misread this like I always do. It was not installed in our apps, in our requirements.txt. So, oops. Need to go here. You see, I always look at that and mess it up. So pip install pydocstyle and pip freeze requirements.txt. And then now we have pydocstyle. Okay, I'm going to fast forward again. Okay, so the test is completed now. This, and it actually says it was succeeded. This should not be the case. Now, there's a reason for this again. Notice that when we're doing this thing, we're just copying, we're setting the working directory, and it's looking only in this app. Well, the app folder doesn't have anything in it except for the requirements.txt, right? So, oh, this is something I was working on. Now, all I've done is I said copy requirements.txt into this /app. Okay, so all that's in there is the requirement.txt. That's not very good. So instead of having it like this, what if I say, hey, take everything that's in this folder and then put it in that folder? That's it. Done. Alright, now I'm going to show you the result after I push. Hey guys, so the last test has just finished about a minute and 10 seconds ago, and you can see right here that it has found that the import is being used, that the line is too long, and that there's a blank line at the end of the file. So why hasn't docstyle found anything? Well, the reason is I got rid of those docstrings. That's it. It's in this thing. I don't even have those docstrings anymore, so it didn't find them. Now that is good. That's good news. Reason being, we are done. We're done with all of our setup, pretty much. We haven't done any databases or anything like that. We'll get into that further, but we're done with the initial setup, so we can actually start developing. All right, and I will continue going on. The more I learn, just definitely check out some of the errors, because during all these videos I'm going to be making errors, and I'm solving those errors, and I'm putting them in there as well. Like this right here, it's a shared runner. Like, that means the runner that was built on our machine is never being used. This is a shared runner that's managed in the cloud on Gitlab. So it's not, it didn't work. So check that out. Check out the video. I'm going to put a link in the description. If I can, I'll put a link right here, but I don't know how to do that. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.